I thought I'd take a few minutes to go over what you can call a garage update, I guess. So this will be an oddball video where I'm not in front of the camera as much, but I thought I'd give you guys a look at what I've got here in the shop. And if it changes much over the year, I'll make sure I get some updates. Maybe do one of these every month or every quarter or every 6 months, whatever makes sense. But anyways, bear with me. It's the first one, so we'll walk through this and hopefully get it done quick. And this is the garage update. We'll start here with the 07 Trailblazer SS. Again, it's an all-wheel drive, 408 CI, supercharged CT performance build car. And there's a video on this, which I will try and link somewhere so you can check out the build here. But one of my favorite cars. Next up is my 09 Corvette Z06. It's a Vengeance build car. And I haven't done much driving here, though. I like the car a bunch. It looks really good. And it's got a nice build to it. So this is part of the Cyber Grey Metallic Twins project that I've got going on. And so you'll see this car do some pulls and see how it stacks up against my supercharged ZR1. We'll see in a second. Next up is my 08 Jetstream Blue Corvette Z06. And this, while it's not stock, it's naturally aspirated right now. And will be completely redone as part of the Jetstream Blue Twins project. It's getting a iron block, which I misstated before, but an iron block 427 with twin turbos. And so this is the car that's going to hopefully put out 20-something hundred horsepower, and hopefully do some roll race events as we get the setup kind of dialed in. So the stance will be changing, but this again is my 08 Z06. Next up, with oddball mismatched wheels and tires, is my 09 Jetstream Blue Corvette ZR1. And so this car was already modded originally, and I believe this was if you look on YouTube, it was called Blue Devil ZR1 or such at one point. Anyways, as it sits right now, it's about 900 wheel. We dynoed it some number of months back when I got the car, and this again is the counterpart to that blue Z06. This will be a 1500 plus ish supercharged monster. It's getting an aluminum block Dart 427 along with all the goodies as well, which I don't have a breakdown of those at some point here soon in a video. Anyways, this is my 09 Corvette ZR1. Next up, and it's kind of packed in here, so I'll do my best. This is my first Corvette ever, my 2010 Corvette ZR1 in Cyber Grey Metallic. This car holds the mile record for top speed of a supercharged car. There's a single turbo ZR1 that's gone faster by a matter of 15 miles an hour, so maybe it's 20. But for a supercharged ZR1, this holds the 1 mile record at, I believe, 231. So we've gone 231 miles an hour on this car. And I will be honest, it feels really good in terms of stability and just how the car performs. I had the full run of that video, or the full run of that 231 on YouTube here. So just check out the channel, and I've got the dash view and a couple other views of the car going 231. But this is probably my favorite Corvette, just because it was my first, and we've done the most mods on this car. It puts down about 1,400 horsepower when you're doing all the spray and everything else motor-wise. So I don't know, just a good all-around looking car. Skipping down the Corvettes, we've got a 2011. This is a Supersonic Blue, and I'll be honest, I was ignorant of this color for far too long, and discovered it at some point in the last, say, year or so as I got more into the ZR1s. It's a rarer color. They had 151, I believe, of these cars in this color, and they were only 2011, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong there, though. Anyways, this car is completely stock, unlike most of my other cars, and I plan to leave it that way just because I don't feel like doing too much to these cars that are on the rarer side, and I've got enough other Corvettes to mess with that I'm really not scratching any itches by modifying it. But it's just a very cool color. This was a Texas car. I got it. It's got 7,000 miles on it at the moment. Anyway, it's a 2011 Supersonic Blue ZR1. This is the latest addition to, at least the latest Corvette addition to the garage. This is a 2013 Corvette ZR1 in Inferno Orange, and it's just a really cool color. It pops. I honestly, again, was ignorant about this color for a long time because they only made, I believe, 60, 65, 60, 60 something of these cars. There wasn't very many made, and you don't see them around that often. But it's a really cool color on this car. It's got factory black backed headlights too, which is interesting because most of them, as you can see, the Supersonic next door has got body color backed headlights. So this car is also stock. We'll get some shots here of the under hood. Got no plans to modify it. It's very clean. It's got about 6,000 miles on it. Since it's a 13, it's got the updated seats, and I'll do a video on differences at some point. And that's the updated seats versus the 2011 seats. And it's got this black spoiler on the back too, which I like as well. It looks a nice looking all around ZR1. So this is dumb, but I'll show you anyways. It's got a cover on it. I'm not going to tear it off just a second, but I've got a 04 Mystichrome. Actually, you can kind of see the Mystichrome right there. An 04 Mystichrome Cobra that I will get down at some point and do a video on. I missed I missed the 04 Cobra and the 03 Cobra. My head was somewhere else. I was doing other things, but I missed it, and I've kind of gotten back into it. I got a buddy that's big into Cobras, so he educated me. I picked up a Mystichrome. Anyways, I'll grab it down when I got some more time. We can look at the underside real quick, though. It's really clean. It's got 14,000 miles on it. I grabbed it out of Santa Ana, California, and trailered it back from California here to Michigan. But it's a nice car. 04 Cobra. This is a 1993 teal metallic clear coat Cobra, and these are getting more and more popular. It seems like over the last even like 6 to 12 months. I picked this up in March of 20, just as COVID was kind of getting started, I guess. And it's not a perfect example, but it's a really nice looking car. And I had a 91 GT when I was in high school, and that kind of got me tweaked on these cars. I always like Mustangs, even though I'm super into Corvettes and GM stuff now. The Mustangs always had a place in my garage, although I didn't have them for a long time. Just briefly too, this car has got a really nice interior as well, and these cars often don't age well interior wise. See if I can get some more light in here. Not really. But the doors get beat up and they get to the point where they look ragged. This one looks pretty good inside and out. Again, 93 Mustang Cobra. I apologize for the close quarters here. This is not a great shot of the car, but I promise, back it out at some point and do a full video. This is an 02 Lamborghini Murcielago. This was the second, well, maybe the third car I bought once I started getting back into cars, and it's a Lamborghini, so it's a really cool car in general. I was adamant about getting the gated shifter, so I've got a gated shifter there, and I know it's a little bit dark, but you can kind of see it. The 02s and the 03s, I believe, both came all gated. So once you start getting into the 04s, 05s, 06s, and so on, it became harder to find gateds. And channels like VinWiki with Ed Bowling have gone over that search for those cars. And I actually talked to Ed before I bought this about looking for a LP640 gated, and he educated me on their rarity. And so I wasn't ready to spend the kind of money that was going to require to get a gated LP640. But this one with the SV body kit, and it is not an SV, but the body kit I always liked. Again, a kid of the 80s, I always liked the Countach. So the big wing was an imperative for me, even though it's not an SV. I don't care. It still looks cool. And then we've got, obviously, the scissor doors, which I can't open all the way, or they'll touch there, so I crawl in, which is hilarious. So anyways, that's my 02 Lamborghini Murcielago. And like I said, I'll do a full video on this at some point here soon. Above the Lambo and under plastic and kind of hard to see, which I apologize for, is my 96 Impala SS in, I believe it's called Dark Cherry Metallic. Dark Cherry. I'm sure someone will yell at me for that because I don't know. I just got this last year in 20, and it's got all of, I believe, 4,000 or 5,000 miles on it. Haven't driven it much, but I plan to. It's one of those cars that I always liked. Again, yeah, I'm a kid of the 80s, so in the 90s I was still kind of tuned into cars, and these things were cool when they came out, and they're still cool today in my opinion. So I'm actually actively looking for more of these, maybe with not so few miles, so I can do some modifications. This one is completely stock, but again, sorry for the plastic, but that's my 96 Impala SS. Also under plastic, unfortunately, is my 91 Corvette ZR1. And this was one of those dream cars for me as a high schooler. I was in high school until 92, and this came out actually it came out earlier than 91. 90 was the first year, I believe, for the ZR1s. But this color, I always liked. And sorry again for the close quarters, and I forget what it's called, straight from GM, this color, but it just looks really nice, and it looks crappier under plastic. But there's our actual shot of the paint, and it's got really good paint on it. It's got, I believe, 3,000 miles, and I picked this car up in Arizona and also traded it back. I'm a glutton for punishment when it comes to driving for these cars, and I like doing so. So anyways, I'll get this one down too at some point and do a inside out video, the whole thing. Lots of interesting stuff on the C4 ZR1 in terms of motor, and the interior's got some funny bits too, just because it's older. So I'll get it down though and get a video done. This is my '07 gray, and I believe it is moon dust metallic gray Trailblazer SS. This right now is a roller, and I've got the project intro video. I'll link in the video here. But right now it's a roller, but it is going to be a 4-digit horsepower, hopefully monster to compete with some of the fastest Trailblazers out there. We'll see. It's going to be a roll race car and not a drag car, but don't hold me to that. Interesting note on this one is it will be a sequential gearbox car, which I think will be a first for Trailblazer SSs in general. So it's going to be a Dart 427 based 3.1 liter blower, more than likely sequential gearbox car. So watch out for this car more as we get that build going. And I'll just show you a peek if you haven't seen. This car was a popular car on Instagram under the name of fast_TB with 2 S's. I'll get you a shot of that in a sec. And he had turbo outlets there at the top of the hood to vent, obviously exhaust and everything else in terms of air. But it is a roller at the moment, so we've got no motor, no trans, but it's a very, very clean car. Got about 80,000 miles on it, and there's our fast TV. And thank you, sir, for the roller. Again, '07 Trailblazer SS. Next up is my '09 CTS-V, and this was originally a Thunder Gray car, and I wrapped it black after Mr. CK Wraps Christian Kungel came out and trained us how. It is not a perfect wrap, and I will explain that to everybody who sees it when they see it, but I thought I did a pretty good job for getting it done. This is a CT Performance built car, as most of the cars here are, and this has got a Dart aluminum 427 with a 2.6 blower on it. Puts down about 1,008, I believe it is, horsepower at the wheels. And there's a whole video on this build, which I'll link to as well. But again, just a nice car. I came from E60 M5 into this car, and I like this car so much better. I say that. I like the E60, but with the E60s, you just get tired of everything costing $1 million to do, the simplest of things. So additionally, this car is a manual. So one of the prereqs I had when I was looking at V's was getting one that was a stick shift car, and so this one is. And this car I've taken to 214 mile an hour at the Arkansas Mile in 2020. My wife broke 200, which probably is some kind of record for a female driving this stick shift car to 202, I believe. It was low 200s, but the point is she broke the 200 barrier, which honestly most folks cannot say that they've done, so kudos to her. But this is my '09 Cadillac CTS-V. All right, for all you Ford guys out there, this is my 2020 Ford F450 dually, and I got this truck in 2020 to pull all these cars to these events. And so I like it a ton. I drove this car to California and back from Michigan here, literally like 2 months after I bought it, to pick up that Mystichrome Cobra and the C4 ZR1. Just a great car all around, had no problems. It was a fun drive. I mean, the cars these days are so nice, even for trucks on the inside. So super comfortable. Let me open the door here. Just a nice looking car all around, and I may get another one if we do more stuff this year car wise, just to pull more cars. So that's my 2020 F450 dually with an 8-foot box.